Okay, so in this tutorial, we're going to look at a fast method for creating a huge variety of drone sounds. So these are absolutely perfect for setting the atmosphere, vibe, and tone in your music. Now, to make your life even easier, I've built you a drone rack. So this guy is going to help you to really quickly turn most sounds into an interesting variety of drones. Now, it's totally on me, free to download, so grab yourself a copy to use in your own projects. You'll probably see a link on the video at any second, and certainly there'll be one sitting underneath this tutorial. So let's have a listen to our music example to get us started. We've got the beginnings of a techno track here. So some nice little effects, nice shaker going on the top, but I want to add some drones to thicken this out. So I'm going to start by making a bass drone. This is the sound that I'm using. And as you're going to see as we move forward, I've got a few different sounds that I've turned into drones, but this is the bass hit. So it's already a nice sustained bass, but I want it to run for a bit longer because at the moment, if I loop this up, you can see if I keep it in the time of the track, I've only got a 1-bar loop. And if we play this over, it's pretty repetitive. So what I want to do is make this a bit longer, and the easy solution here is just to warp this. So I'll go ahead, add a warp marker, and then I can drag this out so that I get a couple of bars worth of information. In fact, I'm going to go just a little bit longer than this so I can set quite a handy loop in here. So let's set that in here. It's going to make my life a little bit easier. So we go for 2, 0, 0. Perfect. So we've got a 2-bar loop now. And now it sounds like this. So you can hear it still sounds like it's looping over, but the rack is going to solve that for us. Now, we could have gone even longer, dragged this out even further. Of course, played around with our warp settings, you're going to get a variety of tones. Remember, the longer you drag your sample out for, the more artifacts, sort of phasey things and strange stuff will go on. Nothing wrong with that, just worth keeping it in mind. So now I've got a decent sample to work with for my drone rack. I'm just going to drag this out, fill up my loop space, and let's turn this on so you can hear it in action. So you can hear it smoothed over all those problems we had in the audio. As you can see, I got a bunch of movement going on in here, and then we've got 8 macros for you. So the first 2 are fairly self-explanatory. The dry gain is literally going to turn up and down the dry signal that's coming through this rack. And then the effect is delays and reverbs and things like that. So if I just blend the drone effect in, you'll hear it. So you can use these to balance, get your volume right, get the sense of space right in the sound. Then low cut, fairly self-explanatory. And let's just get rid of this, a bit confusing. You got your low cut in here. So if you want fizzy layers or you want it less thick, don't want it interfering, for example, with a bass line that you've got in, this is really handy. High cut, take out any fizziness if we want something really dark sounding like this. It's a nice menacing kind of sound. I'm going to take a bit of that tops out. I think it was a bit extreme, wasn't it? We'll go quite menacing with this sound. Then we've got this little pumping section here. So at the moment, it sounds like you've got sidechain compression to your kit going on. But you can change the rate of that. This is a nice parameter to automate. So that would work really nicely, for example, in your breakdown. And then we can have how deep the pumping is, i.e. how obvious it is. And then this shape parameter is quite interesting as well. So these add some really, really nice movement to the sound. Finally, you got stereo width. As you crank this up, it just boosts the side of the signal so it feels like it's coming around your head a bit more. And that is the rack. It's super simple, but very, very effective on a whole range of sounds. We spent a long time tweaking this one. Now, you may have noticed the little Max for Live symbols in here. We've actually made two versions of the rack. One that you can use if you've got Max for Live, and one when you click the download that is going to come and will go for people who don't have Max for Live, where we've set up filters and things for you. So probably if you're using Suite 10, you're going to have M4L in there already. But if you're not using the Suite version, then don't worry, we've got you covered as well. It's going to work for you. But you do need Live 10, okay? So what else? Let's turn this down. And I wanted to just show you it being used on a slightly stranger sound source. Here I've dragged a hairdryer found sound in. So this is just a recording of a hairdryer. And with this one, I've taken quite a lot of the dry out. So it's more of a spacey sort of effect, taken a lot of the lows out of this one as well. And I've got it pumping quite heavily. So let's have a listen to this sound. So some really, really nice movement. Now let me play you the track with these added in so you can hear what they're bringing to the table. So some really nice thick atmospherics in there. And it's super important to realize that you can chuck any sounds at this. They could be synth sounds, stabs, anything you can think of, pots, pans, it doesn't matter. It gives you so many interesting textures. Once you warp the sound, drag it out so it's got a decent loop length, and then feed it into this rack. So as I said, this one is completely on me, totally free. Just grab yourself a copy by clicking on the link underneath this video. Any sample is fair game, and this one is a huge time saver. One extra tip for you, why not batch record a bunch of these so that they're ready to drop into the rack and create drones instantly when you're making your music. Works a treat. Until next time, take care.